No one spins a yarn better than our next guest. He is very funny and has a new one-man show to prove it. It's called Please Stop the Ride. Please welcome Mike Birbiglia. I feel like the way I'm dressed and the way you're dressed, like you've been called into the principal's office. How you doing? Yeah. You have a show tonight, right?
Yeah. I'm part of the Netflix Is a Joke Festival. I was with you and Jon Stewart at the Greek the other night.
That was very fun.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. What a great show. You were so funny, and
thanks.
Jon was very, very funny. Everybody was super funny.
Yeah, Sarah Silverman. Yeah, it was just an incredible lineup. And yeah, I'm doing my new show. My new tour is called Please Stop the Ride.
How many one-man shows is this that you've done?
This will be my sixth.
Your sixth one.
Sleepwalk with Me, My Girlfriend's Boyfriend, Thank God for Jokes. The new one, and the last one on Netflix was called The Old Man and the Pool.
And each one, and correct me if I have any of this wrong, but each one kind of, I wouldn't say summarizes, but captures like a 2 or 3 year period of your life.
Yeah, I work on them for a few years, and my current kind of fascination is my daughter just turned 9 last week, and it's that moment where you realize that you have to answer a lot of questions as a parent, and I don't have a lot of the answers. Mm-hmm. And when they're little, they're just like an animated bag of rice, and then you just gotta make sure they stay animated. That's like your main job. But then increasingly, it's like last summer, my daughter, broke her foot, and like we went in, and the doctor was like, "We're gonna have her do an X-ray." And she looks at me and she goes, "Dad, what is an X-ray?" And then I realized, I don't really know how to explain what an X-ray is. I was like, well, there's these rays, and they go through your skin, and then they sort of report back what's happening with your bones. And there's a machine in the room right there. Mom and I aren't allowed in there. It is way too dangerous. The people with you are going to be wearing bulletproof vests. Don't ask too many questions about that. Take it away, fellas. And so she's nervous, and it's really a lot about that, about realizing like my relationship with my own dad, my relationship with my daughter, and I'm performing tonight. It's a work in progress. Like all these tour.
I love it. I love seeing your
Thanks.
shows. They're really fantastic. The last one was just fantastic.
Thanks.
The Old Man in the Pool was the last one, right?
Old Man in the Pool.
You typically will go work the show out, put the show on, move the show to Broadway, put the show on Netflix, and then you go to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
And yet, I think we have, what do we have here? Tell us what we're seeing here.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Okay, people aren't gonna believe this. It seems like I'm just making this up. Someone performed my show, which was called The New One, in Mexico, in Spanish, and that's the poster for it. It was a guy named Plutarco Haza, and he called it, it was called The New One here, but he called it Voy a ser papá. I'm gonna be a dad.
Did you work with him on this?
I was not involved. I was not involved or consulted. My wife, Jenny, whose poems, she's a wonderful poet, her poems are in the show, The New One.
Right.
She got served an ad for that show in her Instagram. And she goes, that looks familiar because this is my poster.
That does look familiar.
Yeah, so then she says to me, have you seen this? Were you involved? And I go, no. And so I reached out to the guy over Instagram, Plutarco, and we jumped on a Zoom, and he was really, really nice.
What'd you say to him?
I just go, hey, like, I'm totally open to you performing this, but like, maybe like put my name somewhere in it, say I wrote it, you know? Because I think maybe people thought it was his life,
is he doing your life?
He's doing my life.
Oh, well.
It's like the ultimate identity theft. It's like he didn't steal my credit card numbers. He stole all of the details and emotions that I've ever felt.
So then you got together with him?
Yeah, we jumped on a Zoom. It was me and my wife, Jenny, and then him and his wife in Mexico. No, and they did it in Mexico City and Tijuana, they did a tour. And then I asked him for the video of it. I brought the video today. So there's like a toy drop in the show. There's a point. The show is all about how I never wanted to have a child in my life, and how I had a child, and how I was right. And that's him doing it, and that's me right there.
He stole everything.
Yeah. So then there's these toys that drop in the middle of the show to kind of as a metaphor for what it's like to have a kid. But and so he took that too.
Has your daughter met her Mexican daddy?
Well, we all have a doppelganger in Mexico, and if you don't know yours, visit.
Wow.
You know, you should find out. No, she knows nothing about this, of course, and it's completely strange. And so now people have been saying this to me for years, and then Samuel French, they publish plays, and they reached out to me and they said, we would like to publish your plays.
Oh, wow.
And so this is The Old Man in the Pool. It's going to be published with Samuel French.
So now people...
Yeah, and that's real. Again, that's real. And anywhere in the world, or high schools, colleges, whatever, they can do monologues from
Samuel
this.
French, Samuel Spanish, you'll have it in all the different languages.
You can do it in Iceland.
Last time you were here in town in LA, you and I had, where you said, we asked, hey, can we go to dinner? And I said, yes, we're going to have a mystery guest. And I got a real thrill out of tormenting you with who this mystery guest might be. And I never asked you who you imagined the mystery guest might be.
You built it up so much that I thought it was Barack Obama. And you were like, it's someone really big.
Is that true?
And then I was like, who is this going to be? And then it was one of my comedy heroes, Martin Short, who I'd never met. And it was an absolute, I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah.
I always feel...
Did I oversell Martin Short?
No.
Okay.
I mean, but I have to say, even now, I'm self-conscious about everything I said that night. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, I second guess. Right. Should I even be talking? Shouldn't it just be you two talking and I listen?
Because you had like SEAL Team 6 questions prepared and Obama administration, healthcare questions, and whatnot.
I don't view myself as being in show business. And so when people introduce me to these behemoths of show business and entertainment, I get it's wild. Like a couple of years ago, Larry David called me. Which is wild to me because...
Awesome, yeah.
Because I don't even think of him as a person. Like, I think of him as like almost like a mythical comedy being, like a god or something, right? And he calls and he goes, hey, Mike, it's Larry David, and my wife and I really like your specials. I just wanted you to know. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I go, do you want to come on? I have a podcast called Working It Out. You've been a guest on. We've had John Mulaney, countless other great comedians where we work out comedy bits. And I go, would you want to come on my podcast, Working It Out? He goes, no. He goes, what's the upside? I can only lose, which I felt so honored to be rejected by Larry, because that's so much of what he does on Curb is say no to people in funny ways. So I felt like I was in my own Curb episode. And so then he was like, if you come to Los Angeles, reach out and maybe we can get together. So this week I was coming to the Netflix festival and I texted him and I was like, hey, this is an off chance. Would you want to go to lunch? And I said, I give him every out, because I know he's reclusive. He doesn't like socializing, all this stuff. I go, you take any out. You're tired, you're busy, literally anything. And I texted it all to him. He wrote back, thanks for the outs. I'm going to take the outs. Which is great. Which is like the ultimate Larry David thing to write. And I felt so honored to be rejected in such a funny way. But then I didn't write back because I was busy with family stuff, some drama with my folks, and so for a couple days. And a couple days later, he writes again. I just realized that what I wrote back to you was sort of mean-spirited, and I feel bad about it, and let's go to lunch.
Oh.
And then I realized that I had accidentally been passive-aggressive to my comedy idol, and it worked, which is sort of taught the wrong lesson of the whole thing. I ghosted my idol by accident, and it worked. And so we're gonna go to lunch on Thursday, unless he sees me talking about this right now, and then he cancels.
He won't. You'll be fine, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't give him another out, you know?
Yeah, no, you're right.
That was the mistake in the
You're
first
right.
place.
I think you're right.
Mike Birbiglia, the old man of
Thank
the
you so
pool,
much.
is on Netflix now, and you can get tickets for Mike's new show at birbigs.com. We'll be right back with Incubus.